Hi everyone, welcome to Heart of Avocado. My name is Tapasia and in today's video I'm going to be sharing my 2024 planner lineup. I know these planner lineup videos are traditionally done either in late December or early January, but for me, in early January, I feel like I'm still making up my mind and still experimenting and seeing if the plan I've laid out for myself is actually going to work. It takes me a couple of weeks to really play around with all my new notebooks and new systems and see if it's something I like. So that's why this video is coming a little bit late. Before we dive into this year's primary planner, let me share a little bit about which planners I've experimented with in previous years. In 2021, I got myself the famous Hobonichi Techo Cousin. And while I really enjoyed parts of this planner, for example, the monthlies, these were my absolute favorite pages in the entire notebook. There were other parts of this notebook that didn't really work out for me, and those were the dailies. I experimented with a lot of different layouts in this notebook. I tried my own little layout here with a bunch of different sections, and then I had a couple days where I was just in love with the Coffee Monsters Co. type of layout. But nothing really stuck. I just realized that daily pages were something I didn't really need in my notebook. What I actually really enjoyed about this notebook were the weekly pages. So that kind of led me into trying to find a planner that had monthlies and weeklies but didn't have daily pages, since Hobonichi doesn't really make something like that yet. And that's when I found the Take a Note planner. This planner is incredible. In 2022, I got myself a regular A5 Take a Note planner. It's the same size as the Hobonichi, but it is a lot thinner because it doesn't have any daily pages. This notebook was an overall hit. I really enjoyed it. My only complaint with this planner was that I didn't really enjoy the fact that the week was split up into two separate spreads compared to the Hobonichi Cousin, where everything was just on one page. This was something I really enjoyed. I loved having everything just laid out in front of me for the entire week ahead, and I liked that it was a Monday start and it ended on Sunday and everything was just laid out right there for you. And this is also a Monday start, which is awesome, but the fact that things were split up still didn't really work for me too much. Nonetheless, I still thought that this would be the planner I would go for in 2023 as well, but when I was using this planner, I was still going to school, and with 2022 I finished my degree and I didn't really need that much space in the planner anymore. That was one factor, and alongside that, Sterling Ink released the Common Planner for the first time. Those two factors together solidified my decision to get the Sterling Ink Common Planner in a B6 size instead of the traditional A5, so it's a lot smaller. I absolutely loved my time in the Common Planner. I loved the weekly layout. I loved everything about this planner. The only problem was that, again, this one had daily pages. They weren't dated or anything. They were undated pages, unlike the Hobonichi. But again, it was just too much space. I decided to use the undated daily pages as a journal, and then I split the notebook into two near the end of the year when I realized I wouldn't be able to finish the pages, and now that's just going to be a second notebook that I'll use as a journal in the future. And this kind of leads us into this year. This year, Sterling Ink came out with so many options for the planner, and I was absolutely thrilled. So one thing I realized was that this was great, but I could still go smaller than this notebook. So for that reason, I decided to go with this planner right here. This year I got myself the 2024 Common Planner in the N1 size, which is the traveler's notebook size, and I got the vertical layout as compared to the horizontal layout that you can see in the Hobonichi weeks. And then I got the compact version, which is honestly like a dream come true, where there's undated pages in the back, but they're significantly reduced. There's a total of like 121 pages, which is still a little bit more than I need, but I think it'll end up being the perfect amount. I have been enjoying this planner so much, so I'll just do a quick flip through. I have my cover page here. These are some stickers I bought from an art shop, and then I've been using this to track certain things, but I'm a little bit behind. I still need to catch up. Then I have my 2024 goals here. I just printed them out and I stuck it in here with some adhesive tape. And then I haven't been making too much use of these quarterly pages. This is how I've kind of been using the monthly pages, just very basic, how I always use them. And then this is the meat of the planner, the weekly section. And I've been keeping it fairly simple so far. I've just been putting some washi tape on top, and as usual, I have my tasks color-coded. I just do a brain dump, write down all the tasks I need to do, then I color-code them later and I check them off or migrate them as needed. I'm experimenting a little bit with the Alistair method to see if that might work for me, because I do find myself migrating my tasks quite a bit on a day-to-day basis, so I thought it might make more sense to just make one big running list of things that I need to do and then to just mark them down day by day based on whether I did them or not. But this is an experiment for now. And then in the back, I'm basically just using these pages in the back as brain dumps, just writing down anything I need to. I have like ideal routines here, video ideas, just random notes that I want to remember, a list of things I need to sell. So just all sorts of random stuff is going on here. And then finally in the back, I have some stickers, and more importantly, I have some printed running plans, because this year one of my goals is to run my first 5K. So I have 2 different plans here that I want to stick to. And I also have my goals list from last year in here, because I still want to continue to work on the things I didn't get to check off last year. So that's that for this planner. This is my primary planner. If there was one planner that I needed to save in the fire, it would be this one. The next thing in my lineup is my journal. This sticker on top is from the Coffee Monsters Co. I got it a long time ago. This is a journal that I actually started in 2020. And I got this one from Amazon, but then I guess better notebooks came along that caught my eye, so I ended up using different notebooks. For example, last year I was just journaling in my common planner. This year I was going to use the other half of this notebook that I split up as my journal, but I haven't gotten around to fixing that up so it's a proper notebook. So for now, I just went back to this notebook and I've been journaling in here. When I was journaling last year, I kind of really found my groove with journaling, where I was just putting down stickers to make it look pretty in advance, and then it would be all set up for me to journal in. So that's what I've done this year as well. I just spent some time to put down a bunch of stickers here, so it's all ready to go whenever I feel like journaling. Sticking to the journaling theme, this is my gratitude journal. I have been in this journal since 2018. I don't use it every day. I only use this notebook occasionally when I feel like writing down things that I'm grateful for. Something that you'll notice with all my notebooks is that I don't put too much pressure on myself to finish notebooks or to get notebooks to 100% completion or anything like that. This notebook is absolutely adorable. I found it while I was traveling in Thailand in a stationery shop, and it just has the most beautiful pages ever. Next, I have my mini bullet journal, of course. I have a whole video on this if you want to check it out. I'll link it somewhere up here in the cards. And that actually reminds me, I also did a flip through of my common planner, so if that's something you're interested in, I'll link that in the cards somewhere up here as well. This is my mini bullet journal. I've been in this for a few years as well. In 2023, I made this really cute cover page, which I really enjoyed, so I still have to make one of those for 2024, but this is something that is always available to me anytime I need a secondary planner, so this is definitely a part of my lineup for this year. Next, I have my budgeting planner. I like to do a lot of financial planning, like brain dumps, budgets, how much debt I have, and just anything related to finances. I don't make a lot of money, so it's a source of a lot of stress for me. And I find that writing about my finances and just keeping on top of it really helps me feel better about my financial situation. So last year, I just decided to dedicate an entire notebook solely to my finances, and it's been incredible. So this cover is from Notique. It is a vegan leather cover. I bought this several years ago, and in here I have the blank sterling ink notebook in the week size, and on the side here I like to keep an Energel Clena pen, and I think this one is in 0.4. I only started this in June of last year. I'm trying to find a page where I don't have too much personal information. So a lot of what I do in here is just straight up budgeting, where I will write down my expenses, the categories, and what the amount is, and what my budget is for the next year. But I also do a lot of random things in here. Like this was a little checklist where I was working at a job, and I wanted my salary to be deposited into separate accounts automatically, and then I wanted to take money from it and transfer it out to other accounts of mine manually every single month. So I made a little checklist for it here, but unfortunately I got laid off from that job, so that's why this is incomplete. But that's what I was doing here. But this planner is just absolutely awesome. These sterling ink notebooks are just a dream. They have Tomoe River paper, and they're just incredible, and I love the golden edges on them. I think I'll probably be averaging around 20 to 25 pages a year in here, so this will last me a long time most likely. I highly recommend having a finance planner. Now let's talk about this notebook. This is another sterling ink notebook. If I remember correctly, this is the A6 size notebook, and this is the big one, so it has I think 500 pages or something like that. And this one also has golden edges. I love my golden edges. And this is a recent addition to my lineup. So I saw this video by the channel Park Notes, and I'll put it somewhere in the description box below, but it was about how instead of scrolling, you should start like a contemplation notebook where you kind of just write down thoughts that you want to think about more. And I just absolutely fell in love with the idea of that, and I binge watched a bunch of his other videos and all the kinds of notebooks he uses. So of course I wanted to start my own little contemplation notebook right away, and I would have preferred to have started it in a thinner notebook, like something like this size, but this was the only notebook I had on hand and I had no patience, so this big fat notebook ended up being my contemplation notebook. So the way I've been using this is I just write down any quotes or comments I come across online, or anything that I find to be inspirational, or anything that I want to contemplate upon further. So I just write that down in here, and then I just do exactly that. I contemplate upon it further whenever I get the chance. For example, I have been wanting to go from vegetarianism to veganism for a while, but it's been something that I've struggled with a lot. So I came across this really great comment on Reddit that I thought was really interesting, and I wanted to think about it further because it had some concepts in it that I hadn't thought about before. So I copied down the comment, and then I just kind of contemplated upon that. It's crazy how much just sitting with your thoughts and thinking about things on a deeper level can impact you. Here I wrote down some other quotes and things that I thought were kind of inspirational. Like, let me read this one to you. This one is called What is Success, and it's by Ralph Waldo Emerson. To laugh often and much, to win the respect of intelligent people and the affection of children, to earn the approbation of honest critics and endure the betrayal of false friends, to appreciate beauty, to find the best in others, to give of oneself, to leave the world a bit better, whether by a healthy child, a garden patch, or a redeemed social condition, to have played and laughed with enthusiasm and sung with exultation, to know even one life has breathed easier because you have lived. This is to have succeeded. So I thought this was just really beautiful, so I wrote it down, and when I have a chance I will think about this further and write down my thoughts. And I'm also going to be incorporating page threading. I don't want to like leave pages empty because I don't know how many pages my thoughts will take up, so I'm just gonna write down any quotes that I come across, and then whenever I contemplate on them I'm just gonna link that page and write it down on the original quote page, and then write down the original quote page on the page where I start my thoughts, just so it's all connected and easy to find. So that's what I've been doing with this notebook. This is a very recent edition, so it's still barely filled, but I've been loving this so far. Then I have this little notebook here. This is another mini pocket journal. This one is a bullet journal with a dot grid, whereas this one has a proper grid like this. I wish the whole page was just a grid, but it has this date section on top, and it also has this border on the bottom as well. I'm not sure if I'm going to be using the date portion or not, but the reason I originally bought this was because I wanted to use this as a workout journal for strength training in particular. I really want to get back into strength training again this year, so I'm gonna start using this. I only used this notebook once before. I wrote down the date and then the workout I did, so this was all the way in 2022. This was last used a very long time ago, so I'm gonna start using this again this year, and I'm just gonna use it for tracking down what weights I'm lifting, just so I can keep track of my progress. I have 2 stickers on this notebook, and they're both by the shop TK Creates. Finally, I thought I would give an honorable mention to this bullet journal I have. So I think I started this in 2021, and then somewhere along the line I decided I was done with bullet journaling, and I decided to switch over to the Hobonichi Cousin. So this kind of just became my everything notebook. Like I've used this when I was in school. I was using this to keep track of assignments. I've used it to write poetry, and now for the past few years I've just been using this as a study notebook. So if I want to take notes by hand, I just take my notes in here. So here I have some notes on Python. My camera's battery died, so I had to switch it out really quickly, but here I have some notes I've been taking on pool. I've been trying to up my pool game a little bit, so I've been learning all sorts of methods and techniques and things, so I took some notes on that here. And then I had an interview for like a for an entry-level project management role, so I took down some notes on the project management life cycle here. So just any sort of notes I need to take, I've been using this notebook for that. So an honorable mention for this because it's in progress. And that is pretty much it for my planner lineup this year. We have the study notebook, we have the contemplation notebook, we have the strength training notebook, the budgeting notebook, the mini bullet journal, the gratitude journal, the journal for thoughts and feelings, and finally my primary planner, which is the common planner. And that pretty much sums up all of my planners for this year. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up and to subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. And as always, please share your thoughts down in the comments down below. I love talking to you guys and hearing your thoughts and opinions on things. I respond to every single comment. Thank you and take care. I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye.